All right. Good evening, everyone. I'll call to order the regular meeting of the City Council of the City of East Ridge, February 26, 2026 p.m. I'd like to invite Terry Arnold with the Pentecostals of East Ridge to come forward and provide our invocation and lead us in our pledge. If everyone stand, if able.
Let's all bow our heads and pray. Heavenly Father, we come humbly before you tonight, thanking you for all the many blessings that you have bestowed upon us individually and in our city and community. We thank you for our city council tonight and their deliberations, Lord, and their work for our city. And I ask you, Lord, tonight to direct their hearts and minds. And Lord, give them wisdom as they deliberate in their meetings. May, Lord, your hand be upon our city. Bless those sick and shut-ins and those who may not have much tonight. Lord, may your blessings be upon their life. And may we all, Lord, surrender our lives to you, for you are our Savior. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Roll call, Ms. Dietrich.
Mayor Williams,
Here.
Vice Mayor Tyler,
Here.
Councilmember Cagle,
Here.
Councilmember Ezell,
Here.
Councilmember Witt,
Here.
City Manager Miller,
Here.
City Attorney Litchford.
Here.
All right. I'm adding an item to the agenda that is not on here. It is in behalf of Mr. Miller. So I would like for the council to come down front. Mr. Miller, please come down front.
Oh my. Wow.
So as everyone may know, this is Mr. Miller's last council meeting at the capacity of city manager. I do expect to see him in the audience from time to time.
You will.
Maybe even be on the board. But we appreciate everything that you've done.
Thank
these
you.
2 tenures you've been here. On behalf of the city of East Ridge, we prepared a proclamation honoring you for your services. And
Great.
it's, bear with me, it's long, because there's been a lot of accomplishments. Whereas J. Scott Miller has faithfully served the city of East Ridge during 2 distinct periods of leadership, first from 2016 to 2018 and again from 2022 to 2026, providing steady guidance, strategic vision, and unwavering commitment to public service. Whereas under his management, the city advanced significant infrastructure and transportation improvements, including resurfacing major corridors such as McBride Road and John Ross Road, widening and resurfacing North Mac Smith Road, completing the Ringo Road multimodal pathway project, overseeing structural asphalt resurfacing program, and performing widespread stormwater system upgrades. Whereas Mr. Miller championed important community entity and gateway enhancements, including the installation of the Welcome to East Ridge monument sign, statewide improvements to wayfinding and directional signs, and monumental development along Exit 1 corridor. Whereas this tenure marked major progress in public safety modernization with the purchase of 2 Pierce engines and a Pierce ladder truck, expanding firefighter staffing, critical safety equipment upgrades, implementation of mobile CAD systems, and notable increases to fire department and operational training budgets. Whereas Mr. Miller also supported the expansion of police and public safety initiatives, including implementation of the TCRS bridge program for public safety personnel, continued modernization of police equipment, and construction of and opening of the new East Ridge Animal Shelter. Whereas the city experienced remarkable growth in parks, recreation, community facilities, including implementation of Springville Park Strategic Plan, launching the Parks and Rec Master Plan, completing the Dickert Pond Boardwalk and Pier, major lighting and turf improvements, arena upgrades, and the opening of the 12,000 square foot venue 1921, as well as expanding the community festivals, events, and youth programs. Whereas the Eastridge Library First under his administration through expanding programming, increased budget support, and development toward the 501c3 status to further strengthen community engagement and literacy initiatives. Whereas Mr. Miller oversaw essential sanitation and fleet modernization, including facility renovations and replacement of aging fleet vehicles to ensure reliable and uninterrupted service to residents. Whereas he assisted in the advancement of economic development and strategic growth, including continued implementation of the Border Region Tourism Development Act, major redevelopment initiatives, brownfield assessment progress, and recruitment of new commercial opportunities in the efforts to help Eastridge earn the 2024 Tennessee Municipal League Excellent of Economic Development Award and recognition as the 2025 Best Managed City by Business View Publishing. And whereas he strengthened internal operations through development of a citywide employee performance evaluation program supporting accountability, professional development, and organizational excellence. Whereas through his administration diligence, the city secured $13 billion in grant funding for financial year 2022 through fiscal year 2026, enabling transformation of investments in public safety, infrastructure, parks, programming, and community facilities. Whereas these accomplishments reflect Mr. Miller's steadfast dedication, strong fiscal stewardship, and commitment to improving the quality of life for all residents of Eastridge. Therefore, I, Mayor Brian Williams, on behalf of the city of Eastridge, do express a deep gratitude to J. Scott Miller for his exceptional leadership, service, and devotion to our community, and proclaim that February 27th, 2026 shall be recognized in the city of Eastridge as J. Scott Miller Day.
I'm honored. However, there's a lot of Mr. Millers in here. And, bottom line simply is, a lot of these accomplishments were not done solely by me. All these accomplishments were done in a teamwork fashion. And a lot of you guys out there, the department directors, would you please stand up? If you're a department supervisor, these are the individuals that help make these accomplishments go forward. We worked as a team and got these accomplished. It wasn't just one person. We all had ideas. You had somebody at the ship, but these were the people out here that made it go forth. Also, my mayor and city council, who had the faith in myself and the staff to approve the appropriation of dollars to make this happen. So I want to thank everybody for having that opportunity. My staff, you're going to be missed. I'm going to miss you, and I'm going to miss the council meetings and working with the council. I kind of figured out, as being a city manager for 45 years, I got my start back in 1976, actually 74 as a finance year, but 76. I figured out that I've probably been and attended at least 2,160 city council meetings. I don't know if
Not
that's
that you were counting.
That's, yeah, but, I mean, in some cities, I was going 4 meetings a month. And then other meetings twice, but when you add in all the special meetings and the budget sessions and all that, it probably comes out to that. I don't know if that's a Guinness World Record on that, but I'm not even gonna attempt to look at it, because I know there's other managers out there that have served longer than me as the city manager. But it's been a real privilege, and I wanna thank the city council for having the faith in me and giving me the opportunity to come back in January of 2023 to be your city manager. And I really appreciate that opportunity to do it. What a way to cap my career. Thank you very much. 1976. Did I say 1776? Did you get me on that?
Hey, you ready to look at the picture?
Yeah.
Yeah, to your point, absolutely, it takes a team, and we have a great team. We have a great leader, and we have a great team to make it all happen. So,
Yes,
but
absolutely.
you laid the ship. We appreciate all that you've done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. This is my day.
All right, we'll now go to the first item on the agenda, the approval of the minutes of February 12th, 2026. I assume everyone's had an opportunity to review the minutes, and I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
I'll go which one I hear first. We have a motion approved by Councilmember Witt and a second by Vice Mayor Tyler. Do we have any discussion or correction? Seeing none, roll call, Ms. Dietrich.
Vice Mayor Tyler,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
Yes.
Councilmember Ezell,
Yes.
Councilmember Witt,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. Minutes are approved. We'll move to the next item, communication of citizens. This is an opportunity for any citizen to come forward and address the council with any questions, concerns, or accolades. I don't think anyone signed in, but if there's anyone in the audience, now's your opportunity to come forward, and you'll have up to 5 minutes. Yes, sir. If you'll give us your name and address for the record.
Tyler Capper, 6814 Martha Avenue.
Yes, sir.
So I've talked with a couple of y'all before about this issue, and it seems to kind of get bypassed, maybe a little bit worse. But over in Camp Jordan, we all know Eastridge has a problem with flooding. So there's a high rise in construction on that side, and there's more development now in the last probably 3 weeks to a month, which is cornering Camp Jordan Parkway and Ringgold Road on the south side of Bass Pro Shop. MPL holds all of that development over there, but now they're filling in where all the little spillways are. So that wasn't supposed to, or at least to my knowledge, wasn't supposed to be filled in. Talking to MPL, they said that they're trying to level it out for future development, which is fine. Eastridge, it's got to grow, right? At the same time, that area floods heavily. It always has. It's never going to change. The question is where are we going to let the water go? What are we going to do about the water? So MPL, I've talked to them because their numbers are on the permits, and they assured me that there would not be traveling dirt in from outside sources. They'd be digging out from, I guess you would say, the west of Bass Pro or the surrounding areas to move it to where they need to, which is at the corner of Ringgold Road and Camp Jordan Parkway. That's not the case. The last 3 days I spent taking pictures and videos of dump trucks coming in from the interstate, bringing in dirt, when you could be lowering the soil on the other side to where water can still, go over there. But instead, we're bringing in dirt, raising that level, and where's that water going to go? Homes. And they're going to go into Cedar Glen, and they're going to go into Jordan Run. Has anybody filled up a cup or a bucket? I'm sure you have at some point in your life, whether you were a kid or not. You filled up a bucket, fill it up to the top, put your hand in, what happens? It overspills. It's water displacement. So as we keep building up this land, where's the water going to go? It's going further and further into the homes of Cedar Glen, which is where I grew up at, which is where my parents are at. People live over in Jordan Run. It's going up over there. What is the plan, and why aren't we taking soil out of lower areas to fill up the areas that we want to waste money on? If we're bringing in dirt and not lowering other areas, you're affecting your citizens. It's their homes. Are you going to go fix their water damaged homes? No, you're not. You're going to leave it up to flood insurance. My parents we've lived there since I was 11 years old. Some of the summers that I've spent there, when it was flooding, I used to run to culvert to culvert to culvert, me and a couple other people, to unclog all the drains. You can only unclog a drain so much. You got the Tennessee River wrapping around Chickamauga Creek. So what are the answers going to be if progress has to move forward, okay? We all get that. That's fine. There needs to be stores, restaurants. The city has to grow. But there's a better way to do it. And I don't think we're thinking, I don't think this board is thinking, or any past board is thinking about the long terms of the citizens. That's my opinion. And that's everybody in Cedar Glen's opinion in Jordan Run. So I would like some answers within the next week or two, because it's getting worse. As I'm speaking right now, dump trucks are still coming in. So what is going to be the answers as far as flooding and where it's going? I know you're building something on the other side of the interstate. Fantastic, wonderful. That's not going to be enough. If you want to keep raising levels for restaurants, stores to be built. We should be dredging the creek. Okay, make that deeper. There's Camp Jordan walkway is maybe 2 miles without adding the bridge. There's a big ditch all the way across. I know there's been some EPA issues before on the area. We need to readdress it. We need to relook at it, see if they will let us make those ditches wider, deeper. And that goes behind Cedar Glen, all the way around Cedar Glen. We need to be looking at areas where it's west of Bass Pro. All that land right there, make it lower. We shouldn't be making dump trucks to fill that area. There's dirt right there. Lower that area till build up the corner. That would make sense. You have dirt there. Because, I mean, it's all wetlands. It's all going to flood. So make those areas lower. Use that dirt to build up what you want. Put whatever you want there. But we have to start looking at situations to protect the citizens in Jordan Run and Camp Jordan. And not only that, over there by McDonald's, that's not the only area that floods. I'm sure you're all aware that the entire East Ridge on that area floods. But we just keep building up, but the water's not going to change. It's not going to go away.
I agree with that. Mr. Miller, do you have?
I don't have any answer to that. I'd have to turn that over to ACE Engineering, let them do it. They're the engineers.
Hmm?
We could study that, take a look at it.
No offense, but have we not looked at this before?
Well,
Flooding's it's not a brand new issue.
okay, first of all, when they start building new developments, they're required not to, and Jeff, I may want you to come up here and talk a little bit. They're not allowed to push water out onto other areas. And if you'll notice, we have seen the Life Care Center. Same thing was said about it. Oh, they're building that up, they're building that, and they're filling in. Well, they've actually remediated that, and now all the people behind there they no longer are actually seeing the water levels that they saw before Life Care there. We're seeing the same thing. I had several residents from Lansdale Park come to me and say, oh, Red Bull Stadium and all that build out there, they're going to flood Lansdale Park. They're not flooded. We've had some, even in the 6-7 inches of rain, we had that torrential, did not go into Lansdale Park when it has before. So there are requirements, and I'm going to let Jeff talk a little bit about this, that, and if they're bringing in dirt and they're not remediating that, we need to get to the bottom of that. So thanks for bringing that up, but I'll let Jeff kind of interact here a little bit, please.
Just kind of a 30,000.
Sorry to put you on the spot.
Yeah, just kind of a 30,000 foot elevation view of it is, if you're in the floodway, you can't haul a material, you can't displace water. That's the floodway are the areas that are most protected. And then you have the 100-year floodplain. So new businesses and everything have to build their slab 1 foot above the 100-year floodplain elevation. But there are rules and regulations in place to prevent displacement of water. That if you, like you said, if you put something in a cup that's already full of water, that water's going to spill out. And so there are regulations that they shouldn't be putting dirt in the floodway. And they have to be permitted. So there would have been a hydrologic study done if we're talking about the area by Bass Pro. That is outside of the floodway. I don't think it's in the 100-year floodplain, that area itself. But if it were, then they would have to do a study for a no-rise, basically saying that they're not going to cause water to be displaced and impact other properties.
I think we can agree though that that entire area has flooded all the way up to the road. I mean, the creek's right there. So
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know exactly where y'all have the floodplain, but the fact of it is it all goes underwater. Not one time, not two, three. We can go back years, a decade, and it's been underwater.
Now, I'm not going to disagree with you at
I
all.
don't
What
disagree with
I
that.
will say is that the city currently is doing a infrastructure assessment to basically identify all infrastructure, storm drainage infrastructure within the city. Once that is done and evaluated, we'll look at each and every pipe, every culvert, everything else, just to look and see what condition is, look and see where the worst parts of the city are as far as flooding. And I think you'll see eventually projects to address the worst case scenario areas where infrastructure will be upgraded to do that. But you're right. I mean, there is development where you do parking lots and things like that causes stormwater to run off quicker, and it does cause issues elsewhere. But there are mechanisms in place. You have detention ponds, so when you add a bunch of pavement, that water is supposed to go in a detention pond, and it holds it until that peak rain event is moved through. and then it slow releases it back out to the system. But there are regulations in place. Hamilton County and TDEC basically establish what stormwater requirements there are based on
Correct.
the land disturbance.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, we're also looking at removing obstructions from West Chickamauga Creek over there as
And
well.
we found many of them. So we've done an assessment of Spring Creek and West Chickamauga Creek, and we found many obstructions in
Yes.
there. We've identified those and are going to be putting out a recommendation to put out a bid to remove those obstructions. That'll help the water flow through a little bit quicker.
I agree.
I think you'll see improvements, but we had to start from scratch basically because we didn't know where any of the infrastructure was within the city. We're 100% complete with identifying all of those and are putting those in a CAD-based program so that the city eventually would be able to access those, hopefully online, and there will be a new stormwater management plan and maintenance plan. So I think you'll see improvements, but I think the August 12th rain events woke up a lot
Yeah,
of folks.
it woke us up, and I'm not discounting your concern, and I'm glad you're here and you're bringing it forward, and we'll investigate this and ensure that the proper protocol is being followed and the regulations are met and that it's been done properly. But we, like you said, Mr. Sykes, the big rain event in August triggered us, and we realized we've got old aging infrastructure, and we need to get an inventory on it and assess it and see what status it is and what we need to do to prevent a situation like we had back in August. So, but thank you for being here, and if you had any other questions, additional questions.
I just have two, referring to what your statement was. So, and yours just now. So are we going to hold development, or are we gonna keep letting it get worse? Hope we get a study a year, 2 years, or are we gonna stop it and then do our tests, surveys, whatever we need to do, and then address the issue around it, and then let development happening? So, because what I'm hearing is you're going to get to a study one day, right? Because you don't have answers right now.
The contract has been executed, so we're actually doing the work now.
But
You had mentioned this should be completed, at least the boilerplate, by summer.
I think within the next 15 days, we'll have a draft of the stormwater management plan in place, or the stormwater management program in place. A draft for you to look at, but doing the assessment of the infrastructure, you brought up Lansdale Park. I was on that project, and everything flooded back there. It turned out that there was one pipe that was clogged up, cavitated actually. We replaced that pipe with a larger pipe. It hasn't flooded since, and there's people in the room that live in Lansdale. I think that'll attest to that. I've talked to people back there. So in that instance, that was just a pipe that was cavitated.
Right.
The water wasn't draining. I'm not sure about Camp Jordan Parkway in the area that you're talking about. But I don't know anything about a moratorium on developments. There are regulations in place to try to protect property owners from.
right, and I know, and I feel like they're not being followed. Your second statement was the spillways, the little ponds. On for a perfect example is there was supposed to be a good decent sized one off of Frawley Road where the Seahorse Farm was. They built another development over there. That's not a pond. That's a big ditch, and that's all that amounts to. So you raised up, and I know firsthand. I have plenty of pictures from since I was 11 years old of all that property because it borders Cedar Glen. I used to play in those woods. Okay, all of that floods where they built those new homes. All of it floods, and I don't mean just ankle deep. I mean past your knees. All right, you'd be wading in water. It gets deep. So all of that was completely raised up on the south side of Cedar Glen. Okay, and then their intentions was we're going to make a retention pond. They made a big ditch on the left. That's what is supposed to control, though. That's not enough to control, 15, 20 acres of water? It's inadequate. I'm not saying that there's areas that hasn't improved on light waterfall. But the fact of the matter is the city can't predict when the next big flood is. You know, the fire department has gotten significantly better with their equipment and everything. The police department has all of the training that those guys do. That's fine. But we don't know when the big flood is. And at the end of the day, when that water comes, and we know it will. There's records. It will happen. you know, the resources are going to be stretched thin. There's going to be a lot of people that's going to be needing rescue, and a lot of homes absolutely destroyed. The big ditch on Seahorse next to Seahorse Farm is inadequate, and is honestly slapped in the face of the residents in all of our opinion. And I'll get signatures if you would like. I didn't come here unarmed. I came with plenty of references of I'm representing many people here today. A lot of upset citizens.
So that plan there for Hummingbird and all that actually was approved. So was there the
I'm sorry, I didn't.
Hummingbird Village and the horse farm?
The horse farm is not, they haven't.
They haven't started that.
No, they've only submitted some preliminary, Michael, inform me if I'm correct, some preliminary design plans on what's going on, but they haven't done any significant construction plans or hydrology plans.
That's correct, Mr. Mill. They currently have a land disturbance permit submitted through Hamilton County, but that's as far as it's been. As far as the Hummingbird Villages, the gentleman has spoken of the ditch on, there is a detention pond on the back side of that property, a very massive detention pond,
Yeah, you and
collecting
I
all
have
the
walked that.
stormwater runoff from that site.
Yeah, we
Yes.
have walked that on the west side of it.
That's correct.
Without getting too far into this, I think what we're finding is, you know, I know my neighborhood was built in 1960 and off of Belvoir. There were no detention requirements back then, so we've had a good chunk of East Ridge that was built before they had detention requirements. And so that's why we don't see ponds in every one of the developments. Now all new all new permits or all new developments have to be approved. They go through a hydrologic review. The ponds have to be sized based on the amount of impervious surface that you have. So if you have a wooded area that doesn't have any pavement, driveway, you know, roof lines, things like that, then you're going to have a detention pond. If you change it from a wooded area to a lot of pavement, then you're going to have a detention pond to offset that peak discharge, basically. When you have pavement, water runs off a lot quicker. So it's supposed to hold it. Now, those are engineering calculations to size those ponds, and then they go before Hamilton County to get checked to make sure that they're appropriately sized to retain the water. Is it always done perfectly? I doubt it, but there are inspection periods, and those plans have to be approved in order to get the permit to develop the properties.
Are there any plans to look at the, I guess you would say, culvert running the track behind Cedar Glen?
We've looked at every single ditch, every single pipe within the city.
Entire city.
They're being entered into CAD right now, and then there's basically going out to each and every one of them to look to see what condition they're in, if there's blockages. A lot of the pipes that we've looked at have come unbelled or they're blocked. Those will have to be addressed, but it's going to be a priority of, you know, which ones are worse, because it's going to cost money to go through and to clean out and replace each one of them, of the ones that are
Well, I'm just
substandard.
referring to basically that there's no pipes where I'm
Okay.
referring to. It's just a big
Ditches and-
ditch. So, but if we made it a little bit wider, a little bit deeper, definitely deeper, you know, I think that would be a huge help to Cedar Glen. Just alone on that fact, Jordan Run has a little bit of an advantage where they, you know, come up on the hill. Cedar Glen, not so much.
And that is part of what we're doing, is we're looking at ditches as well. It's just, so we've got roughly 8 miles, and a lot of, most everything is not underground pipe, it is open ditches, but everything is being assessed. We started in, I think the contract was executed in October. We had about 6 months to do it. We're about 2 months ahead of schedule, so we've already completed all of the inventory. We're about halfway through with the assessment, and about 70% through with putting it all in CAD, so that we have a map, so everybody can look at a map and see what does the city have, how big is this pipe, is it adequately sized, especially in areas that are prone to flooding.
So that plan will be roughly 15 days.
The stormwater management plan, the draft of it will be submitted within 15 days.
All right. What about the filling in over there in that corner? Not being able to. That's the main thing. Is a lot of people's asking, why aren't we just taking dirt from lower areas? Why are we bringing in? That would make more sense. Wouldn't you agree?
I can't.
Everybody, you know.
That's a project that's being done. It's not being done by the city.
Well, right.
I'm not
MPL is
familiar
over
with that one.
and I'm aware they have the permit through Hamilton County. I've already went through all the permits, and that's why when going over the permits and talking to, I believe his name is Ellis, is they were taking dirt from the area. They wasn't bringing in dirt, but I've watched every morning at 8:30 a.m. dump trucks start rolling in for the last 3 days, bringing in dirt. First, they had, a good mound up, next to the road, and they were working it, leveling it off. That's fine. I've talked to you a couple about it.
Oh, yeah.
Sent
I,
pictures.
actually, I have, and I was gonna thank you for showing up.
Yeah.
I have your message and all your pictures pulled up, so if you didn't make it, I was gonna get to it during the
Yeah.
council portion,
But even
you
on
articulated a little better
the
than
first
I can.
section of pictures that I sent you, it was just moving the dirt. So
Yeah.
I don't know where that dirt come from because I didn't watch it. And I was assured by MPL that they were using the dirt around to level up, which is fine because that would be a smart way. Smart way to have a business over there and not cause future issues down the road. But like I said, the last mornings, I'm watching dump trucks roll in. That doesn't make any sense. I mean, there's lower levels over there. Just take the
Understand.
dirt out. And move it
We
to the
definitely can
corner you
follow up
want
on
it.
that. We definitely can follow up on that and check.
Well, that's what and we appreciate it. Everybody in
Yep.
Cedar Glen, Jordan.
Absolutely, and we're aware of this, and it's why we commissioned this study. This council commissioned this study to get to the root cause and try to prevent future flooding. And we have a lot of ditches and a lot of pipes, and it's great to hear that you're ahead of schedule on that. And then we'll see, what needs to be done and in what order, what we need to prioritize to prevent that. Because we had an awakening in August when that happened. And we don't want it to happen again. I mean, can we prevent everything? No. But we definitely can prepare ourselves better, and we are doing that.
Yeah, I'm just as passionate and frustrated as you are about stormwater management in the city of East Ridge and the inaction prior to this council. But trust me when I say we are making progress. And Mr. Sykes over here has been doing an excellent work. Him and his team have been in the trenches, quite literally, figuring this out. So keep an eye out on our progress. Keep holding us to it.
Oh, well.
Right.
We will.
But, you're not alone in your
I don't want to
frustration.
discredit the effort that this group has done.
Sure.
It's just, I'm sure that you can share the concerns with the people who are living in those homes, that the water,
I'm one of them.
many years, the water just comes up to the foundation, doesn't touch the siding of the house, just right at the AC unit. The last one went a little bit into the AC unit. No real damage was caused. I can't say that for the people that were behind my parents' house. They lost their AC units, so many of them lost their AC units. And water was going into their garages. It's a big deal, and I feel like there's some very simple things that can be done that should have happened sooner than me being here today. But
Agreed.
all we can do is move forward. But I do plan to stay on this subject very hard.
Absolutely. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Tyler.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, is there anyone else? All right, I don't see anyone else, so we'll move to communication of council members. We're on this side, Councilmember Ezell.
I don't have anything. I would like to say I've really enjoyed the time I've had with Mr. Miller. We've had some pretty good behind-the-door discussions, and I've learned a lot from the gentleman. And I call him my twin because he's short on hair on top too.
But I'm
I don't expect I'm going to miss him because he's going to be here. He'll be around East Ridge. He'll still be working with East Ridge. So, but I have enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Councilmember Witt.
Say how much I appreciate him. I have spent a lot of time since he came back in 2023.
Can
And,
Can I
yeah.
send you a bill?
No. No. But you can take me to dinner.
That'll be the other way around, right? Or take you to dinner. Oh.
Oh, he'll miss me. He will greatly miss me, but I will greatly miss him. I appreciate all of the great advice he's given me and all the time he's spent.
Yeah, we actually got to know each other fairly well back in 16 and 17 in regard to the Needy Child Fund. We served on that board together and made a lot of accomplishments
Yeah,
back then.
we started that. But thank you.
Awesome. Vice Mayor Tyler.
Once again, I'm just going to dogpile on Scott here. It was an honor to get to serve with him. He started about the same time as I did and made us all look good. He's very humble, and his humility is greatly appreciated, but he deserves a lot of credit, and we're gonna miss him. Thanks, Scott.
You're welcome. Thank you.
George Cagle.
Yes, sir. Well, really, I'm not through with Mr. Miller. I understand he's gonna volunteer down at CHI Memorial, and I'm down there quite often. So when I come in, he's gonna get me a wheelchair and push me to wherever I'm going.
He's gonna get his steps in.
That's what a volunteer does.
Yeah, and I've got one other thing. Thank you, Mr. Miller.
Okay.
I don't know how many has received their new voter registration cards today. All right, I'm gonna ask, is this voter registration card legal by it having, voting precinct venue 1912?
That's wrong.
Well, I understand it. So is it legal? So is this card gonna be legal for us to go, when is it, May?
I would suspect that when they're notified tomorrow by someone, or many, they'll probably be issuing new ones that are correct.
You're gonna have to.
Yeah.
And I understand precincts been changed to other locations.
Yes.
We're now Greens Lake, Church of Christ, I believe it said, on Greens Lake Road.
Really?
Never
That's
been
from
there
the
before.
VFW, moved from the VFW to.
Yeah.
My office has received absolutely no information from the Board of Elections. Jen, have you haven't received anything either, I would assume?
Only the schedule of requesting to use the
Facility.
facility, yes.
Yeah. But the addresses are, to take care of that. I will put the call in tomorrow morning.
And usually when you go to vote, they ask for your driver's license anyway. They don't ask for
No,
your
that's-
registration card.
That's true.
Okay. Thanks, sir. All right. Don't have a lot today. I do want to mention though, the group this morning, I joined a few of the council members here at the Goodwill ribbon cutting, and grand opening. This is a beautiful facility that is in the former Food City location, and it's got over 34,000 square feet of total space, and 17,000 of that is retail. The facility is designed to support not only shopping, but life-changing mission services. It'll offer free computer classes, employee services, and resource navigation for families. Currently, they employ 31 individuals, but they're still looking to hire additional. And in the future, they're going to be opening an opportunity center for the East Ridge community. So there was a huge, huge turnout. I mean, hundreds. They just kept coming in when they opened it up after the ceremony. And the store hours are Monday to Saturday 9 to 8, and Monday to Saturday 9 to 8, and Sunday 10 to 8. So if you hadn't, go check it out. It is a beautiful facility, and they're going to be providing some great services to not only East Ridge, but our community, neighbors as well. And then I'm going to ask Ms. Skiles if she'll come forward, give us an update. I think we're getting pretty close to the sign-up deadlines for a few of these spring items. If you'll give us an update on that.
Yes, Mayor and Council. Soccer signups are over unless we have a few spots left. They're doing the coaches meeting tonight, so we're on the home stretch of baseball, and T-ball signups are now through March 2nd, and that is for your 3 to 12-year-olds, and then we'll do the older age group in about 2 months for summer ball. And then we have the same thing with spring softball. It's in its last week of open registration now through March 2nd. And then we have flag football, which already has about 250 kids this spring already signed up. So if it keeps going through March 2nd, we may have 300 kids, which will be a huge increase with our sports this year. But flag, same thing. We play co-ed flag, boys and girls. We do K through 6th grade. We split them up. And we play Friday night lights in the spring, where in the fall we play Saturdays. So, but it's pretty cool to be able to play Friday night lights. They love it. And then we added cheerleading in the spring to accompany flag football. So if you cheered in the fall, it's only $25 returning. It ups our insurance. And then if you're new, it's $110. So we added that this year.
Awesome. Thank you, ma'am. We got a lot going on. A lot going on in our Parks and Rec. And then lastly, and I won't bore everyone with what I said to say at his party earlier today, your retirement party. But it's been an honor and a pleasure to know you, to work with you, and to call you a friend. And I wish you the best in your retirement, and enjoy those years. And
I'll be around. I'm
We
not
know you
leaving.
will. We
I'm
know
not
you
leaving
will.
Eastridge.
All right, thanks, sir. I'll hand it now to you.
Thank you. Just a couple items. Finally, North and South Terrace have been completed on their resurfacing, as well as the intersections of McBrien, Moore, and Belvoir. It's now the only problem we have is speeders. I was going 45 the other day, and I swear 2 cars passed me on the left and the right side, going far exceeding 55 or 60 miles an hour. I don't know what can be done there, Chief, but I know that's Chattanooga. But boy, I'll tell you, trying to get out of those, for example, Marlboro, to make a right turn to get on South Terrace, those cars come real fast over that hillside. Anyway,
Well, and they're coming off of that off ramp
yeah,
at 100 mile an hour. The new off ramp that's coming in. I've seen them flying off
they're-
that ramp
yes,
onto the terrace.
You're exactly right. Now they're getting involved with some of the signage controls, and I hope they do better than what we've had over the past years. I know the police chief, Usleton, and I have been out there numerous times looking at what they have planned. I don't know what book they're getting these from, but it almost looks like you come up going northbound on Moore Road to cross over the bridge, and you got a right lane and a left lane. The right lane's supposed to be continuing turning right, but that person decides, I'm going to go straight. And they go straight, and the person in the left lane's going straight too. Well, there's only one lane there to go 2 cars at one time. So we've added our recommendations, comments and recommendations of what the signage should be, and I only hope that they adhere to it. But that's what they're doing now. Update on the community center. We had a meeting a week ago. Give you an update, progress report. The painting of the walls in the gymnasium are now complete, as well as the leveling of the floor. We're getting ready tonight. We're looking at a vapor barrier to add to this project. Once that vapor barrier is approved, we get that down, we can start putting down the wood floor. The installation of the fire alarm is 90% complete. The reconstruction of the eaves on the south side entrance to the building is completed. Installation of the ductwork throughout the building is completed. Fire suppression has been inspected and completed. The brickwork around the lower perimeter of the building of the new section is going to be painted a dark gray. Pillar will handle that. The city crews will paint the existing building that dark gray instead of, what do you call that, terracotta? Reddish rust color. And then we're going to hopefully go with a roof, which is kind of a lighter gray, light to dark gray. So the outside of the community center is going to look real nice when it's completed. What I use the word is it'll be refreshed. And the inside is absolutely gorgeous. I took the mayor through it the other day, and he was amazed to see the gymnasium, how big that son of a gun is. But we're looking at having this completed by May 1st. So we're excited. And then lastly, we all know that the venue 1921 at Eastridge is completed. Our first major booking is tomorrow. And we're excited about that. We have our event manager is fielding over 100 notices that they want to take a look at the facility and utilize it. We've got birthday parties, we've got baby showers, we've got weddings, we've got the high school has already booked their graduation. We're rolling. So we're getting the word out as best we can to start filling that event center up with activities, events, dinners, luncheons, weddings, showers, birthday parties, whatever. And that's all I have.
Thank you, sir. All right, we'll move to old business, ordinance number 1239.
An ordinance of the Eastridge City Council to amend the zoning regulations and the zoning map of the city of Eastridge, Tennessee, so as to rezone the property located at 1408 San Heisey Drive, tax map number 169K-J-009 from C2 General Commercial District to R2 Residential Duplex District.
Thanks, sir. And this is a continuation of the first reading, which we actually put on hold. We brought it off the table last council meeting and put it on the tentative, and then it is now here in old business. So just an update for everyone on that. So, Mr. Howell.
Yes, Mayor and Council. So this rezone is from C2 to R2 to construct one duplex with 2 units, roughly 1,200 square feet. During the last city council meeting, a stormwater assessment was requested by the city council. ASA Engineering has completed that assessment and determining that the existing stormwater infrastructure can adequately manage the additional runoff from the proposed development.
Thank you, sir. Council, I'll entertain a motion for ordinance number 1239.
I make a motion to approve ordinance number 1239.
Second.
We have a motion to approve by Councilmember Witt and a second by Vice Mayor Tyler. Do we have any discussion?
Yes, sir. So there's not gonna be no, core samples for the contamination of the soil?
In speaking with the applicant, Councilman Cagle, there will be some removal of some of the soil in the area. It's just not known to how much will be removed at this point.
Does that mean that they're just removing it for the heck of it, or they are taking a soil sample and we're gonna clean it up? I misunderstood what that answer was.
So the concerns on this site was, I think the car shop that was next door may have parked cars on this property years ago. So, anything that have leaked from vehicles, could potentially be in the soil. But where the actual home is going to be built, the topsoil has to be removed, just for compaction purposes and getting the footers. So anything really that's, that first 6-8 inches of topsoil is going to be removed anyways. So then they'll have to do an assessment with that to make sure it meets all the building codes. So this will be, meet all the building requirements that the city requires for all their homes.
I don't know that the city requires a soil sample. So when you remove the soil, are we gonna go back and maybe do a soil sample to make sure nothing's there? Or are we just going with it?
My understanding, we're just going with it, since we'll be removing some soil from the area as well. I mean, at this point, we know that there is some small contamination runoff from the site, but that would be up to the builder if they proceed with that soil sample. I mean, the city can't, I can't make that determination. That'd be upon the applicant to produce that soil sample.
And with any crawl space, it's going to have a vapor barrier and everything like that as well. So it'll be a safe, enclosed, crawl space for the home above.
Now, I know they park cars over that whole lot because I've drove by there day after day after day. They've used that thing for a storage lot for wrecked cars, damaged cars, and the stuff has been coming out of them, the antifreeze, the battery acids, the gasoline. So,
sure. And the purpose of this rezone is to let that not happen again. Because it's zoned commercial right now, they could easily sell this back to the car dealership and let them continue to park cars in the residential neighborhood. So this is an effort to clean up both the aesthetics and the site.
Just a question I have, when you're reverting from a commercial, because you don't really have to get involved with soil samples on commercial, nobody's living there.
Right.
But when you're going to a duplex, now you're talking about living facilities. Aren't you required by some form of EPA law to take test samples to be able to determine whether there is soil contamination and remediate that? Only because people are living there. That's why they have the Brownfields grant under the federal program.
Yeah, and if there's any regulation that's required from EPA, TDEC, the city of Eastridge, this will all be met. Because I'm sure, lenders sometimes require those things as well, because, lenders are going to make sure that whatever they're lending for is going to be a safe and habitable.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
I have one other question. But then, since we have no regulations, can we sit here as a body, and since this is coming from commercial to residential, can we put that clause in there for the soil samples due to the contamination?
I mean, the short answer is No, because it's a rezoning. It's for, you can put a condition on the use of it, but for a requirement of a soil sample is not. I mean, the condition, what if it comes back on when they revert back to C2? I mean, when you're putting a condition on there, it's got to be limited to the type of use, is what it would be a condition. You can't put a condition of a requirement. You have to go do this. You have to go put a soil sample. That's not something that they allow when it comes to conditional zoning. And that's the textbook case in there is actually out of Hamilton County, which allows Hamilton County to have conditional zoning. But it's limited to restriction on the use, not on requirements of EPA. I mean, any requirements that they have to comply with EPA stuff, that would be something the EPA itself would regulate. If lenders go out there, they do anything, the lenders are going to require certain conditions to be met for purposes of funding. But solely for the purpose of rezoning, you couldn't put a condition of soil sampling or core sampling.
This seems like to be the same thing as asbestos in a building. If we go in and disturb the asbestos, then we got to take it all out. If we leave it there, we don't have to fool with it. So that's the same thing on this contamination. If he's going to start scraping soil out, then he needs to.
Well, in the asbestos one, I'm not aware of any zoning modifications related to a requirement of asbestos. That's more handled by, in that case, either a building construction requirement or lenders. Lenders, without a doubt. I know that we just dealt with a potential development here in the county or in the city that dealt with an asbestos issue, and all of that was being handled by a lender, not a zoning requirement. But I think if I understand it right, you're wanting to put something in place that provides that the soil that's on there has some sort of guarantee that it's going to be clean, and that's something that this body per se doesn't do, but the requirements of the construction as they go through it, whatever governing bodies it's going to be regulated at, whether it's building code officials or of any type of identified soil in their lender policies, that would handle it. But again, just for tonight, it's just zoning only. There's not a condition you can put on there to require core sampling for soil contaminants.
And if I may, even if this was a commercial property developed, you allow an apartment use to go, you can have a residential unit with a commercial building. So even if this was developed as a commercial building with a kind of a little apartment unit that goes with it for the owner, they're still going to go through the same protocol as far as making this a safe building and a safe site.
So if we zone this for residential tonight, then he comes back in front of us to, does he have to bring it back in front of us? No, okay.
It goes to him.
As long as he builds within the standards that are outlined in the R2. As long as he meets those requirements.
So we put stipulations in there for R2 about core samples like this piece of property? That's what I'm trying to find out.
We don't have any language like that in our
I
ordinance.
understand that. Can we put the language in there?
That's a legal question.
Yeah, I'd have to go and do research to see if there are any zoning out there that I could identify that have core sampling in connection with rezonings. Now, if there are building construction requirements that you want to put on there, I could look into it and see. But again, from just strictly a zoning, I'm not aware of any situation where either this municipality or any that I've dealt with has a requirement that a rezoning would trigger core sampling requirements. But if you want me to look into it for purposes of building construction, but I mean, our building codes are adopted by international building codes. I mean, those are the professionals that develop these, whether it's International Property Maintenance Code, Fire Code, Electrical Code, any of those bodies there are what we follow when it comes to certain types of again, building or property maintenance. But from a zoning standpoint, I'm not aware. I will look into it to see. But I've never, even in my years of dealing with Chattanooga or Hamilton County or other municipalities, even outside of Hamilton County, of core sampling to be a condition for purposes of zoning and the zoning regulator, I've not seen.
Mr. Mayor, I may be able to offer a little bit of help on this, depending on what the concerns are. So typically, when he goes to his lender, they're going to require a phase 1 environmental assessment. That is an assessment where somebody will go out, they'll look at the uses of the property over the years, talk to neighbors, have there been cars parked there, things like that. And at a certain point, or based on uses, if it is a dry cleaner, if it is a fuel station, something like that, that'll almost automatically trigger a phase 2 evaluation, which is where they sample sample the property. And then if that phase 2 comes up, the lender's going to require them to remediate the site before they can build on top of it. One thing I can say is if we're talking about concerns with groundwater contamination, so if there is heavy metal material, leads, arsenic, things like that within the soil itself, and depending on the depth that they are, by basically building a driveway, or if it's a slab, I'm not sure what it is, that typically will cap it and prevent groundwater from getting through and causing those contaminants to go deeper into the groundwater system itself. But there are some protective measures when you're dealing with a lender that's going to require a phase 1. And then if that phase 1 triggers concerns, then it automatically goes to a phase 2, at which point they start sampling and looking for arsenic and lead and heavy metal contaminants.
So what you're saying is then if he pours it on a slab, underneath the slab, the water is not going to rise up and come out, right? What's going to allow for the seepage from the soil, from the soakage of the water into the soil, the seepage going down?
Well, I'm more addressing, so if you cap off the site, and a lot of times remediation requires a clay layer or some kind of a capping of it that prevents the ground, or basically rain droplets, from soaking into the ground and further contaminating, basically allowing those heavy metals to go further into the ground and into the groundwater. That's typically what happens. And then a lot of brownfield sites, like say the ball field, the stadium that they're building, typically when you have foundry sands and heavy metals like that, they do remove a portion of it, but then they come back and they cap over it in order to prevent those heavy metals or those contaminants from affecting, basically coming back up through the ground. But also they cap it off to prevent rainwater basically from soaking into the ground and further contaminating the soil at deeper levels and getting into the groundwater. And those are just a couple of protective measures that are typically in place. I don't know what happens if it's paid for with cash. Obviously a lender's not going to ask for a phase 1 or a phase 2 if they're not lending. So I'm not sure what happens there, but there are some protective measures in place that lenders put in place and insurance companies in some cases put in place to make sure that there's not basically an asset that has no value because it's contaminated. I'm not sure if that helps, but I wanted to offer that up.
Thank you.
And just to clear the record, my clients purchased this property to do the right thing. They're trying to bring good quality housing to Eastridge and clean up a site that needs it.
Any other questions?
Well, just the neighbors that, when they came here for the initial public hearing, were concerned about the water mediation over there and that their properties were flooding. I think they brought up the storm drains that are over there. Were we able to determine who is ownership of those assets? Is that city property or is that the neighbors over there? Are they responsible for those storm drains?
You have drainage that's both on city property and on the adjacent properties. You have 2 surface inlets within 50 feet of this property in the direction that it flows. And then the road, the topography of the road, that is the low point in the road. And so you have 2 stormwater collection inlets there. And then across the street, you have a massive surface collection system.
Yeah, at the corner of Oakdale over there.
And I did some research not only on basically the stormwater path, the contours and everything else, but in researching it, August 12th, there was no flooding there at all.
Yeah, well, the neighbors seem to be doing a pretty good job of trying to keep them clean over there. That's nice of them to do that. But I just wanted some clarification on whether or not that was going to be our responsibility and part of the stormwater management plan moving forward.
We may address those inlets. So some of those inlets, But we have a lot of drainage on private property. So there's a lot of stormwater inlets, a lot of conveyances that are on private property that we're gonna have to deal with in the future. But you do have assets that are within city property, and then you have some that are just across on the property line on private property that are sitting in the low areas that are collecting stormwater and draining them off to Spring Creek.
Thank you again, Mr. Sykes. I just want to have an answer for them when they start sending me emails.
That's right.
All right, any other questions? All right, remind everyone, we do have a motion and a second for an approval. No other questions? Roll call, Ms. Dietrich.
Vice Mayor Tyler?
Yes.
Sorry, Vice Mayor Tyler?
Yes.
My mic wasn't on, apologies. Councilmember Cagle?
No.
Councilmember Azell?
Yes.
Councilmember Witt?
Yes.
Mayor Williams?
Yes. Ordinance number 1239 passed first reading.
Thank you, council.
Thank you. We'll move to item B, ordinance number 1242.
An ordinance of the East Ridge City Council setting the compensation of the city court clerk in accordance with Title III, Chapter 5, Section 3-504.
Thanks, sir. This will be the second reading. And one comment before we get started. So, I'd requested us to, review the possibility of the compensation for the benefit, in the previous resolution that was passed in 2013, prior to everyone on this council. There has been some findings of that we feel that it's probably was invalid. So if there's a decision to change to include benefits, it would need to occur with this ordinance and not defer it later when we discussing the resolution 1240, is that correct? 2340. So, but I'll Mr. Litcher will give us a little more background.
I talked to you all about sort of the findings. I did a little bit more digging even after I talked to each of you all, and have a little bit of a history lesson on the kind of the I won't say interconnectedness between the city court clerk and the city council. Those are two separate ones. The city court clerk compensation is determined by Title III, Section 504. That's in the city code. That is not by charter. City code provides that the compensation shall be set by ordinance and cannot be increased or decreased during that term. In the world of employment law, the term compensation includes both financial and non-financial. Non-financial being benefits, healthcare benefits, stuff of that nature. And that's all to say, my recommendation is if you're going to want to give consideration to the compensation of the city court clerk under this ordinance 1242 to include healthcare benefits, it needs to be done under this ordinance. It does not need to be you pass 1242 and then you come back and address it under the portion that you've got in the new business. We'll talk about that, or I can bring that up now, but the long way of saying, if there is any interest in providing healthcare benefits for the position of the court clerk, it needs to be decided as an amendment to 1242. And so the process would be, we have a first and a second, get discussion going. Then you'd have to have an amendment to the existing ordinance to include healthcare benefits. If that were to pass, then you would have to have a second reading as amended, which would then go on the next agenda.
All right.
That's related just to the city court clerk.
Correct. All right, so with that information, I'm going to ask for a motion for the approval of what was approved for the first reading, which was a $70,000 salary with no other benefits. So I'll ask for a motion and a second for that, and then we can discuss if there is going to be an amendment brought forward.
Make a motion to approve ordinance 1242.
Second.
All right, we have a motion to approve by Vice Mayor Tyler and a second by Councilmember Ezell. Do we have any discussion?
I'd like to make a motion to amend ordinance 1242 to include employee benefits as provided by the city. What, I mean, right?
Well, you're gonna need to stipulate the benefits, because right now that position gets medical, help me out, but there's no pension.
Correct.
Okay, I just
Yeah.
wanted, when you say employee benefits.
So you have medical, health insurance, and vision.
Vision, dental.
And what about disability?
Currently, there's long-term disability and life insurance, the basic policy that the employees receive as well.
Yeah, wrap it up, all that.
So I'd asked Mr. Miller in HR to provide that information. So there is, we all should have received this. So there is 2 different medical plans that can be chosen from. There's a dental, a vision, and a life, and a long-term.
Right.
And just some rough math, if you're looking at a gold with all those, you're looking at about 13.5 that the city would cover. And then if it was silver, it'd be 14.1 that the city would cover if they picked the silver and all the other benefits in that package. So,
And that's assuming that they, I guess, if you took the job, you don't have to take the benefits, correct? It'd just be an option.
correct.
Right.
But they want the option. Do we need to
Okay.
second this, or?
So, we have. So if I understand this correctly, then Vice Mayor Tyler is amending to include the available options to buy in as an employee for all of the existing benefits that the employees have.
Yeah.
Or currently are available.
Yes.
Yep, said it better than I did. Appreciate that.
So you got a motion.
Second.
All right, we got a motion for amendment. Do we have any discussion?
This is not going to change the other ordinance that talks about the council, and it
No.
has nothing to do with it, correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
It's a separate.
Any other discussion? I see none, so we will now vote on the amendment, which includes the health benefit participation.
And this would now be,
Correct.
for first reading.
This would be first reading, if passed. Question?
So we're voting on $70,000 plus about 14,000 package.
Possibility of that, if they take it.
That's the amendment.
If that person in that
It's
position,
just for the court clerk,
that is correct.
all elected
That is
officials,
correct.
the judge, just for the court clerk.
Just for the court clerk.
Right.
Any other questions? Roll call, Ms. Deeser.
Vice Mayor Tyler?
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle?
No.
Councilmember Azell?
Yes.
Councilmember Witt?
Yes.
Mayor Williams?
No. It did pass. So now we are actually voting on the, we gotta
have a
let this,
second
we gotta
reading
give
at
a
the next
second
setting.
reading. So we don't even vote on it as amended and then have a second?
No.
Okay.
So, because it's now been amended.
So it's been
And
amended.
so we gotta have a second reading, so it'll be set at the next hearing, or at the next council meeting.
Okay,
Right.
all right.
So can I ask a question? So the salary for the position
Is
is
passed.
passed, okay.
Well, not
no, it's
completely.
No, because it's compensation. We gotta be clear. It's the ordinance provides for the compensation. That compensation consists of the salary and the healthcare benefits. Since that has now been amended, that's got to have 2 readings. That second reading will come at the next one.
Today's second reading is no longer,
Well, it got amended, and so we
now
didn't have a
it's got-
second,
okay,
we didn't
okay,
have well,
okay.
we had a second reading, it got amended before it got approved. And
Okay.
so now we'll come back on whatever the March
12th.
9th or whatever that is.
I thought,
Yeah.
not to interrupt, but I thought we just voted on the second reading and it passed, and then he amended. Made a motion to amend after we all voted to pass.
Yeah, we voted to amend, so now that.
The vote was to amend, not the ordinance.
The ordinance, you have to correct me if you're taking the notes. I thought we had a first and a second, and we all voted and it passed, and then he said, now I'd like to make a motion, we amend it.
No, sir, no, the vote that just happened was the first vote on this item. So, there was a motion and a second to approve as it was, the discussion
During
opened,
discussion.
and immediately Vice Mayor Tyler said, I make a motion to amend to include benefits, and then it was clarified what those benefits were.
Okay,
Then we voted on the amendment.
okay.
So as it stands, the salary is 70, and eligible for benefits. But that will then come back for a second reading at the next council meeting. And if approved, then that'll be ratified.
Okay. So right now it's the same.
Right now, it's still,
Well,
Okay.
It's
'Cause
not,
I was
it's
confused
not
too.
the same, it's as amended now.
It's as amended.
70 plus now the benefits. So,
Okay, okay. All right. Thank you, council. Thank you, Mayor.
thank you. All right, we'll move to item C, ordinance number 1243.
An ordinance of the City Council for the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, approving the designation of the Assistant City Manager and amending Ordinance 1226 to fund the position for Assistant City Manager.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Miller.
Yes, I would like to note that on page 2 of ordinance 1243, under section 2, paid a salary of $1,000 per month for taking on this additional duties as assistant city manager. That would take effect tomorrow at 4:30 p.m. Fire Chief Mike Williams will become the assistant city manager until such time as the council has appointed and approved a candidate for the city manager position. At that time, the assistant city manager position will be dissolved, and Chief Williams will go back to full-time as a fire chief, and we would have a city manager running the city. Any questions?
Okay. All right, so $1,000.
Yes.
So I'll entertain a motion for ordinance number 1243 for the amount that, Mr. Miller suggested.
I make a motion to approve ordinance number 1243 for $1,000.
Second.
On top of it, I should make $1,000 a month on top of his
That's
salary now.
exactly what I just asked, and I was gonna bring that up into discussion, but I wanted to get the, all right. So, we have a motion by Councilmember Witt and a second by Vice Mayor Tyler. Do we have any discussion? So that was my discussion that I pulled Mr. Litchford over is, does it need to say an additional 1,000, or is, Mr. Williams gonna do this for $12,000 a year or $1,000 a month? So you clarified he did not need to state that.
No, I'm
because
comfortable
this
with,
is
no, this is on top of
on top
his
because
current
it's an
salary.
additional.
Yeah.
Yes,
It only
this is-
kicks in during the vacancy of the
Okay.
city
It's
manager.
strictly for city manager.
Correct.
Okay. Any other discussion? See none, roll call, Ms. Dietrich.
Vice Mayor Tyler?
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle?
Yes.
Councilmember Azell? Councilmember Witt?
Yes.
Mayor Williams?
Yes. Ordinance number 1243 passed, second reading. Congratulations. We'll move to item D, discussion of proposed mobile food vending ordinance. Mr. Howe,
Mayor and council, I'll be glad when this is over. That's all. Okay.
I was gonna ask you if you had a short version.
I do. So before you tonight, Mayor and Council, is the final draft that was conducted by City Attorney Litchford. Mr. Miller and I did review it, and we had several questions within the ordinance, which have been highlighted in your packet. If these are approved tonight, this will then move forward to the Planning Commission for approval. We're asking the City Council for guidance on the following highlighted areas. So on page 6, we have identified section 1107B, which it says overlay districts. We're basically just defining which overlay districts are there, which are only the C1, C2, C4, C5, and C6. That would just be added as new. One other question we had on that, I'm sorry, maybe I should stop and let you guys, if you're okay with that.
Questions?
So we're still at the point that if a owner still has to come forward and request it.
Yes, sir.
Correct.
Yes, sir. But these are the only zones that will accompany it. No residential zones,
Correct.
no industrial.
Correct.
Really just defining which zones it's allowed in. That's it. Yep.
Okay. Proceed.
The second question or the second one on here, will the number of mobile food trucks permitted in the overlay district be determined by a resolution when the district's approved? Originally, in the first draft of this, I think we had 4 mobile food permits would be issued in a district, overlay district only. We were curious if this needed to be a static number now, or if this would be something that city council would approve by resolution if an overlay district is accepted.
I'm not a zoning expert. Does any of these districts include the high school? Because I know we had mentioned something about letting them do trucks up there for.
It exempts
Did
the
something
school.
about Hamilton.
Yeah, we exempted the.
Yes.
Right.
Okay, thank you for the clarification.
It's built into the ordinance right now that they would be allowed to do that. This is really just asking if an overlay district is created, is there a static number applied to that overlay district now? Or at the time the application comes in before the city council, is that determined at that point by resolution? This is the square footage of the property, we can accommodate this many mobile food trucks.
My thought is it needs to be considered at the time the overlay district is brought to the council.
I would think so.
So you could evaluate the purpose,
Yeah.
square footage.
Yeah, I agree with
And instead of trying to make a blanket statement that could be detrimental or not sufficient. My opinion.
Yeah, it should be handled all at once.
Once an overlay district is created, set forth that
Right.
restriction. Okay.
Okay.
Agreed? Don't see any nays. Okay?
Mayor and Council, on page 9, these are just some new things that were added that were originally in the ordinance, which is on page 9, 91108, item C, trash receptacles will be provided by the permit holder. That was originally in the ordinance, it was just removed, we just need to keep that in and make sure they're providing those trash receptacles. Also, item F, it did state 2, it's actually 3 new special event permits per 12-month consecutive period. That is noted in the last page, I do believe, when it comes to the page 14, schedule fees and penalties. So there is a 2 or 3 day special event permit. We just want to clarify that it is up to 3 days.
I thought we agreed to 2.
Whatever the feeling of the council is on this one. These are special event permits within a 12-month period, so it's not annual, that's within a 12-month period. We can go 2, go 3, whatever the preference of the council is.
Now, this is not number of days.
No, this is the
number of events.
Right,
Number of permits.
Number of
Which
permits,
is event
yes.
permit.
Yes.
exactly.
And we had discussed that we were gonna do 2. I thought we all agreed to that.
I believe the original was 3. It was just highlighted in that area as 2 because on page 14 under 9113, it still states 2 or 3 day special event, which are $50 for 2 days or $25 for additional day.
So it's the council's will. I mean, we're talking about single property, so this is not the overlays. This is single property.
Single property,
Right.
yeah.
This is for special events, grand openings, things. of that
Grand
nature.
openings, your 1-year anniversary, that kind of thing. Special event.
Well, here again, the first one is not talking about days, is it? In other words, F, the single property located within that overlay district is limited to 3 special event permits.
Within a 12-month period,
Okay.
yes.
What he's referring to, when you go back to page 14, didn't y'all start talking about number of days? I'm just talking about how many times you can have an event at the property during the year.
Okay,
And we had discussed it to be 2, which would have been sufficient.
okay. We can knock it down to 2.
That's up to everybody else, but I'm just
I
telling you
mean,
what
yeah.
we discussed.
I mean, that would be
Can you do
2 a year, it'd be
3?
semi-annual. I mean, if you want to do 2 things in a year, or if you want to do something every 4 months. So you're saying instead of 3, 2.
Correct.
I'm sorry to interrupt. You were going to say something.
No, it's,
I really think the 3 is better. I hate to limit them to just 2. I mean, they may not even use the 3, but I think they should have an option. It's their business.
It's their business, I agree, but it's our restaurants and eateries on Ringo Road that pay the price when you do this. And,
That's
I mean, it's whatever we vote here, but I look at it that way.
I got a 2 and I got a 2. You got a 3?
Oh,
You on the spot.
I'll go 2. I'm fine with 2. Yeah.
I'm good with 2.
2 works.
Okay.
All right, then lastly on page 9 was the item G, which this needs to be, was originally in the food truck ordinance, 10-foot separation between mobile food vehicles. That was always in there, and that needs to stay in there per NFPA regulations.
Okay. Questions? Good with that?
I've got one question right here. Underneath G where it says 10 feet separates the vehicles, but then it says right here, all mobile food trucks in H, all must be behind the building lines? Behind the front buildings?
That's correct, Councilman Cagle.
Okay, so if we go down here to Ringo Road, everything's gotta be behind the front building lines?
So there's right below, in line with that, there's site constraints that are there. So if the site doesn't allow that, then it's per the fire marshal's discretion at that point.
And another thing on that page is, are we clarifying gas as propane? And propane's propane and gas is natural gas?
That's correct.
Because you're talking about, no permanent hookups to where the propanes would be hooked up permanently,
That's correct.
so.
Anything else?
Yes, sir. Hours of operation.
Yeah, that's the next one.
Yep, that's what he's gonna
That's
probably
next.
do next.
Okay.
You're on top of it, Councilman. So on page 10, City Council, the hours of operation. Now, Mayor Williams actually introduced this. These were the hours that originally proposed were from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. Sunday through Thursday, 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. Friday through Saturday. And that is a question for City Council. If you like those hours, do they need to maintain those hours?
Well, I have one thing concerning the Sunday hours. Okay, when are beer sales allowed in East Ridge on Sundays at our other restaurants? And
I think it's noon, isn't it?
well, I thought we changed it, but I don't remember what the change it was for brunch, what they call brunch hours. People wanted to, so Sunday they're allowed to sell beer earlier than noon, I think. So if we're gonna allow the food trucks to come in, if the council allows, it's over here in another article, allow beer sales out of the food trucks, which I thought wasn't gonna be allowed, but I see it's added in here to where this council's approval.
Where does it say beer sales?
I think that was directed towards City Council. If in a particular overlay district is created, let's say one like the
Page
Gateway
7.
Development. Yes, in their sporting events out there, kind of a hand-in-hand thing with beer sales and food trucks.
Well, that,
That is only if the city council approves.
Approves it, yes.
Yeah.
But before, it was no beer sales or alcohol allowed out of the food trucks.
right, that's what,
Yeah, and now I notice it's been changed, it's gonna be put from the council to, approve it or disapprove it.
Is that because of the Red Wolves having the,
I don't
Yes,
know
yes.
why.
that's
Oh,
Red Wolves,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah, because if there's an overlay district is approved
Right.
with the Red Wolves, then that'll be part of their request.
yes.
So what's the
So-
feeling on the hours?
Well, that's my feeling on the hours, because if we allow them to start selling at 8 o'clock, this overlay district up here starts selling at 8 o'clock. If the restaurant's in front, then they need to start selling at 8 o'clock.
Well, just if this operational, it starts at 8, doesn't mean that they're allowed to start to serve, and they still have to meet the other requirement, which is if it's 10 or if it's 11.
It's
It's-
10.
10?
Just
Okay.
pulled the ordinance from 2020.
So even though that says they can operate at 8, that doesn't mean they can sell beer at 8. They can't start selling beer until 10
They're
o'clock.
gonna be partially operating.
Well,
Well,
just
they
like
can sell other
any,
stuff.
yeah,
Sell
they can
food.
sell food.
Okay.
Yeah, and I specifically provide on page 8 where it talks about all mobile food vehicles operating, have to comply with all other federal regulations, state regulations, and local.
Yeah, well, when I had the restaurant out in Ottawa, football on Sunday, we couldn't sell beer till noon.
So approving these hours doesn't mean they can then sell alcohol earlier, in other words. So, just a suggestion here, so we'll entertain any other direction on the hours, if you wanna adjust those, or,
No, I like those hours. You got a problem with that?
They might sell breakfast with a cup of coffee at 8 o'clock.
right.
They could.
We got 2,
Biscuit.
good with the hours?
Okay.
Councilman Cagle, good with the hours?
Yeah, I'm through with hours.
Okay,
I was looking to see what else I had on the list here.
you're looking ahead, all right. And I guess we didn't call that out, but no amplified music or public address system? Good with that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Howell?
And lastly, on page 12, city council would, under the reinstatement item, section 1, we did add a new section, said the permit holder shall receive written notice and an opportunity to cure unless the violation poses immediate threat to public safety. Some of those are as simple as just not having a business license within the city. Or, give them a written warning on that and then acquire something like, it'd be an easier step to move forward with making sure they're not shut down.
Comments, council? I'm good with it.
I'm good with it.
Good with it. Question,
I'm sorry?
question.
Okay, let's see.
Okay.
Mr. Hang on just a quick second.
All right.
Vice Mayor, good with it?
I'm good.
All right, go, Mr. Cagle.
All right, on
Councilman Cagle.
page 12, C1, no, it's not C1, it's E1. Says 3 violations of this chapter has occurred within a 12-month period, you be suspended. Okay,
Yes.
I thought that's where, I read somewhere where they're doing it on 3 months interval, that if you get, a violation within a 3 months term, you get 2. But, so are we going 3 by 12, or are we going 2 and 2 for 4 on, some violations? Evidently, I didn't mark that on my thing here. Or maybe that was in the other ordinance.
Mark, are you familiar with that one? I right off the top of my head, I can't. That one is
Oh, I'm trying to
on this
find it.
ordinance.
I don't.
I read it either in this ordinance or the last one, where in a 3-month period, you're allowed 2 violations to be suspended. In a 6-month period, you're allowed 2 violations. So then the next 6-month period, you're allowed 2 more violations. But then here, we're reading 3 violations for the whole 12 years.
Month.
Months.
So I'm sorry, I tried to draft it in a way that sort of gave a scaling disciplinary procedure. Part D there on page 12 provides a suspension if there are 2 violations. And Part E is a revocation if there are 3 violations.
Well, one of them's a
Under
6-month
D,
period.
Under suspension of permits, which would be D2, it tells you 2 violations in a 6-month period.
And the other one's 3 violations in 12 months.
12 months.
Well, that's a
Well,
revocation. That's a completely.
Yeah, so you've got the suspension, so if it happens twice in the 6-month period, you're suspended. But if they incurred another one, correct me if I'm wrong, in a 12-month period, then they would actually be
Exactly. Revoked.
revoked.
Yes.
Revoked.
Yes.
Okay, then they have to come back in front of the,
So it's more stringent to suspend them, but then it still covers the 3 for the entire 12-month period, and they can be revoked.
Right.
Did I say that correct?
That is correct, yes.
All right, any other questions? Everyone good with the one, I believe we just had the one change, correct? From down to two?
Yep.
2 permits? All right, so then, guess it will now be brought to a future
That's right.
agenda?
That is correct. Planning Commission, well, here we come.
Planning first, that's correct.
Correct.
Yep, it's gotta go planning first, and then it'll come to us. All right. No other questions? We'll move to new business. All right, resolution number 3785.
A resolution of the East Ridge City Council awarding a bid for the 2026 Street Improvements Program.
Miller.
Okay, thank you. We went out for bids. We received them on February 17th. We received 3 bids, the lowest one being from Tally Construction at $1,349,549.50. The high one was from Caldwell Paving at $2,210,798.50. Below, I've noted the appropriation dollars we have. Total was about $1.5 million. However, we got to take out of that $1.5 million, the $64,813. We had to do work over there at Stump Street to take care of the drainage area over there, as well as repave that street. We lost all of that in the July. Was it July or August? August 12th? Rain, 6.7 inch rainstorm?
It was August.
August, okay. And then we did some work over there at what I call is McDonald, but it could be over there by Whataburger to take the hump out of that roadway coming into the Whataburger and the Champies area. That was $66,457. That gives us a balance of the bid came in at $1,349,549.50, but that does include North Max Smith Road, from what I understand, in talking with you and Shane. We were going to do some work on North Max Smith Road from Ringo Road to State Line.
We're gonna take care of the critical areas with any balance that we have. There's a few areas that are failing.
Okay. Just kind of let you know where the money is going for the road resurfacing program, what dollars we have in there. But tonight I'm asking that you, I'll recommend to the council that we award the bid to Tally Construction in the amount of $1,349,549.50. They are the lowest, quote, responsible, unquote, bidder.
Thank you, sir. Council, I understand motion of resolution number 3785.
Go ahead.
Make a motion to accept resolution number 3785.
Second.
And that is for Tally Construction.
Yes.
All right. So we have a motion by Councilmember Ezell and a second by Councilmember Witt. Do we have any discussion?
One question. Like over on Greens Lake, I know Greens Lake is in the list to do.
Yes, sir.
Of course, we all know it's in the center of the street and it's about 6 inches low.
Yeah.
We're gonna dig that up and fix the water problem, correct? Which is eating underneath it, causing that. And my question is, do we get to back charge WWTA if it's their issue, or is it just our baby?
That's a real
Take a long time to really go through all of this with WWTA. Scott and I have had numerous discussions. I'll estimate that probably 25 to 50% of the resurfacing or of those street repairs that we make every year are fixing WWTA issues. Their lines are failing. We call them out to camera the lines and take a look at them. They come back and say nothing's wrong with them, that it must have been road bed settlement from traffic, but a lot of these roads were built in the 50s and 60s, and even some prior to that, all the settling has occurred. These are, it's I&I infiltration into the line that is causing these sinkholes. We had one on North Max Smith Road on the north end of the Red Bull Stadium in the last few days. That is obviously a sewer issue and is going to require repair. But I think it's going to take a longer discussion to figure out how to get WWTA to address these issues throughout the city, or we're going to continue to spend money on road resurfacing that is simply repairing their lines. Some of the work that we've done in the last few years, resurfacing, I know Fountain, for example, I drive that quite a bit. Some of the areas that we repaired are already settling again.
We call this keep on, keep on, keep on.
Yeah, we just had a water main break on Shady, and they wrecked it. I don't know what they put in there, but it ain't asphalt. It's awful. And Tally's the one who did the resurfacing program a couple years back.
They did it in 24 and 23, 24. In 25, Caldwell was the one that was awarded it in March and didn't complete it at the end of December.
I think Tally did fine last time.
Tally does a good job.
Yeah, they do.
They'll come in and get this rattled off seriously
Quickly.
in 3 weeks,
Excellent.
4 weeks max.
And I will say with the fuel prices down, we've got about a 25% more efficiency in this year's program, so we're doing a lot more work for less money because of fuel prices being down.
All right, any other questions? Seeing none, roll call, Ms. Dietrich.
Vice Mayor Tyler?
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle?
Yes.
Councilmember Ezell?
Yes.
Councilmember Witt? Mayor Williams?
Yes. Resolution number 3785 approved. We'll move to item B, resolution number 3786.
A resolution of the East Ridge City Council authorizing the city to enter into a partnership agreement with DBAT Chattanooga.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Collins?
Yes, Mayor and Council. The Parks and Rec Department is seeking council's approval for the following agreement with DBAT of Chattanooga. Below is an outline of the 2026 partnership between DBAT of Chattanooga and East Ridge Parks and Rec for the spring, summer, and fall seasons. So the spring season will, again, when we start next week after our coaches meeting, that'll start March 5th through May 22nd, which is when our younger age group will be done. Our summer session is May 25th through July 20th. That's our 13 through 16 age group. And then we'll have our fall season, which will actually include, again, our younger age groups all the way through our 16s because we loop them in. So what this provides for our Parks and Rec kids that sign up through East Ridge that play baseball and softball, it is ages 7 and up. It will give them Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They get 1 card per day, 10 swings. DBAT is also putting on a coaches clinic, 1 for softball, 1 for baseball, 2 different days. And then the kids get discounts at their pro shop. Then they're coming out to do a free skills clinic for us also for baseball and softball, and that will be on March 21st that they're doing for us for an hour and a half. So those are some of the different things that we've worked out with DBAT so that our kids, we play our rec season during the week, or we bring traffic in during the week, and then we play tournaments on the weekends. So then our rec kids are able to still go and do some stuff on the weekends and go play up there and get swings in still.
Thank you, ma'am.
Sorry.
Council, I'll entertain a motion for resolution number 3786.
I make a motion to approve resolution number 3786.
Second.
Have a motion approved by Councilmember Witt and a second by Vice Mayor Tyler. Do we have any discussion?
Just curious, how many registered players do we have
Which sport?
that involves DBAT?
That involves DBAT. Right now, we have softball. I think we're at 130, 140. Baseball, we're at 198 today. And we're going through Monday or Tuesday of next week. I think the coaches meeting's Tuesday or Wednesday.
Awesome. Any other questions? Seeing none, roll call, Ms. Dietrich.
Vice Mayor Tyler?
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle?
Yes.
Councilmember Ezell?
Yes.
Councilmember Witt?
Yes.
Mayor Williams?
Yes. Resolution number 3786 approved. We'll move to item C, resolution number 3787.
A resolution of the East Ridge City Council allowing the East Ridge Middle School to use a soccer field and a softball field at Camp Jordan and waive the fees for such usage.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Collins?
Yes, Mayor and Council. The, East Ridge Middle School has requested use of Camp Jordan on behalf of their middle school soccer and softball teams for this spring and fall. Right now, we just have their spring dates. We won't have their fall dates until later. Again, previous years, historically, as I put in the memo, the city has always let them use the fields at no cost. They are not using our turf fields. They're using our other fields right now. Our turf fields we're charging. So it's our top fields we're using, and it's our natural grass fields that they're using. Just so we're all on the same page. Our turf fields we're charging for those. We're not giving them away for free. In your packet, you will see when the middle school softball team did put in their dates for. I've actually had to go back to them and say, hey, I don't have these Fridays. We've got tournaments. You got to pick Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. You know, we're booked on the weekends. That's our job. Same thing with the soccer. Chad has worked with them to rearrange their games on what fields they'll work with each day. That is within our schedule. If council approves, I will let them know that they have use of our fields.
Thank you, ma'am. Council will entertain a motion for resolution number 3787.
Make a motion to approve resolution 3787.
Second.
Have a motion to approve by Vice Mayor Tyler and a second by Councilmember Witt. Do we have any discussion? See none, roll call, Ms. Dietrich.
Vice Mayor Tyler,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
Yes.
Councilmember Azell,
Yes.
Councilmember Witt,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes, resolution number 3787 approved. We'll move to item D, resolution number 3788.
A resolution of the East Ridge City Council allowing the East Ridge Needy Child Fund to use Camp Jordan Arena and waive the fees for such usage.
Thanks, sir. Ms. Skiles.
Yes, Mayor and Council. The East Ridge Needy Child Fund, which is a 501c3 nonprofit, has requested use of Camp Jordan Arena on August 8th. That will be from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. to host a new event this year. So this year they're going to do Corvettes for kids. Gail Phillips, which is representing the organization, is requesting for us as a city to waive the $1,300 fee for the rental or any other additional charges. The one other thing this year with this event is they are partnering with our East Ridge Optimist Club to do this show. So in your packets, you should have seen all of the qualifications that we set forth in our fee waiver policy a few years back. So you have everything on both of these clubs that you need to review. Again, these are two organizations that work with the city of East Ridge, that support the city of East Ridge's children. They've always helped. They do everything that we've ever asked them to do. So city staff, Parks and Rec, we do recommend approving the request of this waiver as long as city council approves it or follows through with it.
Gotcha.
Sorry,
Thank
I
you,
can't
ma'am.
talk tonight.
Council will entertain a motion for resolution number 3788.
So make a motion to approve resolution number 3788.
Second.
Have a motion to approve by Councilmember Ezell and a second by Councilmember Witt. Do we have any discussion? I see none. Roll call, Ms. Dietrich.
Vice Mayor Tyler,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
Yes.
Councilmember Azell,
Yes.
Councilmember Witt,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. Resolution number 3788 approved. We'll move to item E, resolution number 3789.
A resolution of the East Ridge City Council authorizing the Parks and Recreation Department to advertise for bids for the replacement of the lower roof of the East Ridge Community Center.
Thanks, sir. Ms. Skiles.
Yes, Mayor and Council. So, as Mr. Miller has stated during our recent walkthroughs that we've been doing at the community center, again, checking the lower portion of the roof, we have discovered that we have holes in it. While we were doing our fire suppression system and looking up, you could see them. So, we asked Pillar for a price at that point to give to us, and we felt it was a little high. So at that time, Chris Gilbert, the head of maintenance, and myself started calling roofing companies to come out. With that, to continue with the roofing system that we already had on top that y'all approved to upgrade with, we looked at the 50 mil PVC Duralast roofing system that would go over the low portion of the roof. Again, if council approves for us to put it out for bid, I have the bid written up already to advertise for the next month, and we would recommend awarding to the lowest or the most responsible bidder. And right now, from speaking with Mr. Miller, we would look to pull this out of our capital funds project for any upgrades that we still need to do, the buildings and stuff, which is again what our whole intent was when we started the community center. We went after the money for the LPRF grant. We did it with the money that the city had available at that time. We picked the different rooms, and then from there, we always intended to come back to council and ask for more funding out of our capital improvement projects for the other things to upgrade within the center. So this one, though, becomes the most important at this time. Again, I apologize. Never thought we'd have to come back to do this, but here I am again asking for approval to come back out and suck it up and ask for the money to get it done so we can get it done right.
Thank you, ma'am.
I'm done.
Council will entertain a motion for resolution number 3789.
Make a motion to approve resolution 3789.
Second.
Have a motion approved by Vice Mayor Tyler and a second by Councilmember Witt. Do we have any discussion? I see none. Roll call, Ms. Dietrich.
Vice Mayor Tyler,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
Yes.
Councilmember Azell,
Yes.
Councilmember Witt,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. Resolution number 3789 approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll move to item F, resolution number 3790.
A resolution of the East Ridge City Council accepting a donation of industrial grade laundry equipment for the East Ridge Animal Shelter.
Thank you, sir. Chief Usleton.
Mayor and council, we're requesting that the city accept a donation of good quality used washer and dryer for use at the animal shelter. What we have down there, the dryer is broken. It was too small for the job to begin with. We priced new equipment. It was in excess of $27,000. We have a local businessman who got with his cricket team and raised money to buy a $3,000 double washer, a double dryer. Paid $3,000 for a washer and $300 for the base to hold the washer so it doesn't spin out of the washroom. So the city will have to pay for the installation. We priced that at around $4,200, but we will get equipment that meets the needs of the shelter donated if you accept it.
Thank you, sir. Council, I'll entertain a motion for resolution number 3790.
I make a motion to approve resolution number 3790.
Second.
Have a motion approved by Councilmember Witt and a second by Vice Mayor Tyler. Do we have any discussion?
Just curious, if we already have it there, I take it it's not commercial grade is why we're paying so much money to have it installed? We already have a place and we have something working that's bad, we're removing it.
What we have is the equivalent of a home washer and dryer, which you put in. As a matter of fact, when the shelter was designed, it was actually designed for a ventless dryer. When we're moving industrial equipment in, we're having to, just for the dryer, we're having to run gas lines, we're having to reconfigure the plumbing, we're having to run additional water lines. We have to vent, again, because it was designed to be a vent-free dryer. We actually have to vent up through the roof because it's the front of the building and we don't want our lint exhaust coming out the front that's public-facing like that. So it's significant, the amount of modifications we have to do to the building to fit this washer and dryer. And to give you an example, everybody's familiar with a home washer and dryer, and these are the size. The double dryer itself is 81 inches high, and it's 30 inches wide. It takes up the vast majority of our laundry room now, but it's going to meet the needs of what we do a massive amount of laundry at the animal shelter, far more than I anticipated. So again, we have to pipe outside area and feed the dryer.
Okay.
Any other questions? Send in roll call, Ms. Dietrich.
Vice Mayor Tyler,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
Yes.
Councilmember Azell,
Yes.
Councilmember Witt,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. Resolution number 3790 approved, and we appreciate Mr. Patel and the Cricket Group for their donation.
Thank you, sir.
We'll move to item G, resolution number 3791.
A resolution of the East Ridge City Council to approve Amendment 1 to the federal fiscal year 2026 Tennessee Highway Safety Office High Visibility Enforcement Grant.
Thank you, sir. Mr. McAllister.
Yes, Mayor and Council. This is an amendment that was given to the city by the federal government / Tennessee Highway Safety Office pertaining to the federal fiscal year 26 THSO grant. The amendment that was supplied in your packet essentially was given to us without option to accept. We either accept the amendment or forfeit the grant. Unfortunately, the federal government cut the funding across the board for this program, which ultimately resulted in all awarded agencies having their programs reduced by 20%. So we have 30 days to accept this amendment, or we forfeit the grant for the remainder of the federal fiscal year. And in the memo, I outlined the fact that the city has already spent money for this grant program. So the expenditures associated with the current fiscal year total a little over $7,100, or I'm sorry, $7,020. And with the reduction included in the amendment, it will leave us $980. So the grant requires the police department to host one saturation event per quarter. And ultimately, that funding is provided by this grant to pay for overtime costs for police officers. So we will be able to host the 2 required events for the remaining of the year, but this did cut the program by 20%.
Thank you, sir. Council, I'll entertain a motion for resolution number 3791.
I make a motion to approve resolution number 3791.
Second.
A motion approved by Councilmember Witt and a second by Councilmember Ezell. Do we have any discussion? See none, roll call, Ms. Dietrich.
Vice Mayor Tyler,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
Yes.
Councilmember Ezell,
Yes.
Councilmember Witt,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. Resolution number 3791 approved. We'll move to item H, resolution number 3792.
A resolution of the East Ridge City Council authorizing the city manager to approve a change order request in the amount of $14,168 for the community center expansion project.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Collins.
Me again. So for the community center gym floor, we are now having to look at putting down a vapor barrier. I want to provide a little bit of additional details on why we've got to do this to move forward. So when we had our OAC meeting last Tuesday, we were made aware that, again, they'd been testing the concrete. They'd done so after the 90 days. It's been curing. And again, this is the new concrete portion, correct?
Yes, sir.
This is not
Yes, ma'am.
the concrete that's been down. This is the new concrete that's been laid. They've tested it. They hired an outside company to come in and test it, and it's still not testing at the levels it needs to have, not to have the moisture. So we've got to put something down. If not, when we put down a $200,000 gym floor, we're going to be replacing it in the next 3 or 4 years, which is not what we don't want. So, again, Mr. Miller will tell you, between me, Cameron, Hannah, we've went through this, we've studied it. You know, we've talked to H&K. We've been up and down with Pillar on this. So, again, it's a choice that we have to make, and we have contingency written in, as I put down here. Right now, the total cost of the required work is $14,168. At this time, the money that we have saved in other areas, we've not had to put spray in certain areas because it was already there. We've not had to do other things that were already in the scope that they didn't catch. There was a contingency of $17,546 that we've saved. So right now, the $14,168 would go against that price. So it wouldn't be anything that we have to pull out of capital or anything like that. It's just we would minus this for the change order that we signed to get the project done.
Thank you, ma'am. Council will entertain a motion for resolution number 3792.
Make a motion to approve resolution 3792.
Second.
Have a motion approved by Vice Mayor Tyler and a second by Councilmember Witt. Do we have any discussion?
Do you know how thick this vapor barrier is by chance?
From my understanding, the weight of it is 90 pounds. So you've got the roll sizes of 5 by 144. That's just your regular roll. It covers 720 square feet. They're supposed to be bringing us some, what is it? Did he tell us he was bringing us a sample to look at that he planned to have? 20 millimeters, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 20 mil.
That was the
My fault.
question, because I was curious, when you lay down the wood floor on top of it, is it because you're only vaporing, barrier and just the new carpet, new concrete,
Concrete,
correct?
that's it, yes.
So we're not gonna
And
have
we've already had to do work to that gym floor because I think your girls played basketball out there. So, you know, one part of the gym floor was the rubberized, and then you had the tile, so that all had to be grinded down, so.
I was just
Yeah.
curious about that one section, if the wood is gonna match evenly with the thickness of the vapor barrier. That was the question.
Yeah, it would be for the entire
Well, no,
gym floor.
because they've leveled out the whole floor. They did the one area, which would be the east side, where the bleachers used to be. They had to grind that area down and then leveled out the whole floor. And they were out there showing us, 2 weeks ago, or a week ago, I guess it was, how they did the leveling, showed us where the problem areas were, and they have been resolved.
They have green little circles done where they've done the probes over there, and then they did other probes in other sections. They've had fans over there drying them out, moisture control machines over there. And as Cameron said, it's for the whole floor. I missed that part. I thought it was just the gym floor, but it's all of the floor in the gym section. It will go under the tile. It works under all that.
The vapor barrier?
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't want to.
That answered the question.
Yeah,
I
we
thought
don't.
you were just gonna put it on the.
No,
Oh, it goes over the whole floor.
the whole floor. We don't want to take the chance of any moisture getting up into the wood area to degrade the wood over a period of time.
Any other questions? See none, roll call, Ms. Dietrich.
Vice Mayor Tyler?
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle?
Yes.
Councilmember Izell?
Yes.
Councilmember Witt?
Yes.
Mayor Williams?
Yes. Resolution number 3792 approved. We'll move to item I.
Do you want me to take over here, Mayor?
Yes, sir.
All right, members of the council, Mayor, I've spoken to each of you all about kind of the history, a little bit of the history of 2340, and actually, I've got some additional stuff to add even after I spoke to each of you all. The short of it is, in 2013, we had Resolution 2340, which provided by resolution benefits, or excuse me, an option for city council members to participate in certain benefit programs, including those offered, like we talked about, medical, disability, hospitalization, group life. That was done by resolution in 2013. At that time, the city charter provided that the salaries for the council and the mayor could be established by ordinance. Keyword there being salaries, and that was the language in the city charter at the time. In 2000, that was again in 2008. That was ordinance. It was a referendum pursuant to Ordinance 849. In 2013, you had this resolution passed by the city council, and it doesn't use the term compensation or salary at all. I think I know what happened here is it was just sort of a scene there that they would not treat it in verbiage as compensation or salary, but an option for the council and the mayor to, quote, participate in certain benefit programs, and to do so at the same cost as other regular employees. In 2014, you had another referendum, and in that referendum, the term and/or all benefits was brought in, and so you had salary and/or all benefits brought into the language of the charter, and that had to be done by referendum. So I told you all on the phone I did not think Resolution 2340 was valid. I do think it was at that time done correctly, and that has stayed in effect. However, you've since had the passage of the salary and/or all benefits, and so currently your charter now, as it provides, states that salary and all other benefits to be provided to the mayor and the council may be adjusted only by referendum. Which means you don't have the authority to remove the option to participate in the city health care benefits. It would have to go to referendum, because by charter it states it says salaries and all other benefits may only be adjusted by a referendum. Now, I think you can invalidate, you could try to repeal resolution 2340. It was, at the time, it was done if you consider the fact that, again, at that time in the charter, it provided that salaries could be set by ordinance. Well, this wasn't an ordinance in 2013, it was a resolution, but it didn't deal with salary. It dealt with the ability to participate in the healthcare benefits of the other employees of the city. So, if you want to fix this, one way you can fix it by repealing resolution 2340 to do away with that resolution, which at that time provided the option to participate. So I don't know that you're necessarily taking away the salary, or as it says here, adjusting, but it says the salaries and all other benefits to be provided by the council and the mayor may be adjusted only by referendum. I think you can repeal resolution 2340, but it's possible somebody may argue you can't adjust the benefits that are offered except by referendum. Does that make sense? I know it's confusing. In talking to each of the members, it's my understanding that there is no one on this panel takes advantage of or has elected into it, correct?
Correct.
So I think you could demonstrate to the community the direction that this council would like to go by repealing resolution 2340, if that's what you want to do. I can't say that if someone got on the council at some point later and said, well, that repeal was improper, because per the charter, you can only modify the salaries and other benefits, or adjust them, that's the term, only by referendum. Again, that was put in after the resolution was adopted a year earlier.
So can you not repeal 2340 and then put in a referendum for November election?
You absolutely could.
Or remove it?
You absolutely could.
I think that's what
to really button it up.
I think that's what we should do.
You
to
could
clear
do
this
that
up.
and put it to a referendum as to whether the language in the city charter should be amended to provide
It's a way to kill it altogether.
the salary. So you go back, so what you would ultimately do is go back essentially to the 2008 version. Although the 2008 version said the salaries could be set by ordinance, you're just saying, we're just sending a message. We're trying to do away with the option of allowing the council members, just council members, not the judge, not the city clerk, the council members to participate. I mean, I'll be candid with, I think what was done in 2013 was, it's no mystery why the term compensation salary was not used in that ordinance, or in that resolution. Because salaries had to be done by ordinance, and they wanted to stay completely away from that. I don't know if they wanted two readings either. But so they did it by resolution, and they said nothing about compensation or salary. It just gave the option to participate in the health care benefits enjoyed, or at the option, and it's the same rate and cost of other employees. So, but to answer long, yes, you are correct.
So basically, it'd be a referendum to state that we would remove health benefits.
That the
eligibility.
Well, the eligibility is under the resolution 2340. You would I can prepare an ordinance and get that in front of this body to go on the November election ballot to provide that the section 5-A should be amended to say that salaries may be provided to council members and adjusted only by referendum. Or you can put in there and shall not include other benefits. You can word it how you want.
So, all right. I had a lot of involvement or opinions back in 2013 about this, and I was not in favor of it. Still aren't. But in when I said in 2013, I have no problem with any one of us being able to participate in the group plan. However, it is the full cost of the council member. So I don't want to shoot the opportunity down that if I wanted to participate in the plan, because I don't have another option, I can, but I'm taking the full ride. I'm not getting the employee portion, because we're not really employees.
And we're only actually part-time.
Exactly. So I want to be careful. I would like to preserve the ability that we could participate in a plan, but it is our full cost, not at an employee's pay. And I don't know, that's my thought, but we need to decide this together.
So, if you gotta pay the full cost anyway, why wouldn't you just go out and get your own plan?
I don't know, it might be cheaper here because it is a group plan,
Because the group, you're trying to do it.
number of employees.
Especially if you'd have pre-existing conditions.
That's all I'm trying to do, is just preserve the possibility of someone being able to participate in the plan, but the city wouldn't cover. I'll remind everyone about 13, 14 grand, and I think that was just for employee only. So if you're talking family, it's even go higher than that.
That's more than double than our yearly
That's more than,
compensation already,
exactly.
So if we put it out for vote though, what if the community decides?
And then the community's decided that we're eligible for it. But it would, if we word the referendum correct, or not correctly, the way that I had suggested, then you'd just be available. The community's not saying that we have to then spend the extra 14 because if you do that times 5, you're talking about over $70,000 annually. If everyone on this dais, elected official, picked it, and that's employee only. That's why I was against it.
I think we ought to repeal the resolution 2340 and then let Mr. Litchford draw up a referendum that would be appropriate for the election.
I agree with the provision proposed by the mayor.
That's
the
what I'm talking
consensus board by the council.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Let him draw it up.
Thank you. You
Or
good?
it's no cost to the city whatsoever.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd rather die.
Okay. Any questions, Mr. Litchford?
No, so what I'll do, at the next council meeting, we'll have the resolution prepared to repeal 2340. And then we will, if I don't have it, we will have timely the ordinance drawn up that will set this matter for referendum related to the setting it as the salary and any benefits which must be borne by the council member.
Do we have enough time to get it on the ballot?
We do. That we have really up until I want to say early August, because it would be a November ballot.
90 days, isn't it?
It's 75, I think
75,
90,
yeah.
give or take.
Okay.
So yeah, we've got time, but I'm not going to delay. I'll have it, and we'll have that on 2 readings, and then we'll get it to the election commission.
All right, any other questions? All right, that's all I see on the regular agenda items, so we'll move to discussion of the tentative agenda for March 12th, 2026. I guess under old business, we will now have ordinance number 1242, second reading. Is that correct? Mr. Litchford?
Second reading, yes.
It'll be the second reading on
Yes.
the city court clerk.
We will have the second reading of
The amended?
Yes,
The amendment.
of ordinance 1242
The amended.
as
Okay.
amended. Yes.
Any other questions on that?
I do have. Let's say that we vote no for the health benefits, the amendment part of it. Then do we have to come back again and readdress the $70,000 salary?
Well, that's a good question.
I think that's what she was asking. Yeah, what?
Yeah.
Tricia was asking.
But 24,
That's just the question. Do we have to come back and
2340 only,
No, we,
No,
we moved
You're
up.
talking about
Now we're on
1242. 1242.
Court clerk
Got it.
salary.
She was asking if the salary passed because we voted on it twice.
And we said
And
no.
at that point, you
Well,
told her that it didn't really
The
pass
problem
because
was,
we amended
we
it.
didn't vote on the salary, we voted on the compensation.
Right.
And I know that's not trying to be ticky, but as you just saw, the difference in salary and compensation and what we just discussed, we were voting on her compensation as amended, and that's what her compensation is. So Councilman Ezel's question is, well, if the second reading of the compensation fails, then
Do you still have that open,
we still can
that,
go
that
back and
open,
vote for the?
that open motion and
I mean,
second?
we've
for
had
the
a,
original
we've had a first reading of the compensation relative to just the 70.
That's correct.
Approved.
that was right.
What you would do then is you would have to vote on the 70 because we've not had a second vote
Right.
on the 70. So that can take place. So even if it
So
passes,
if
it
it
passes.
fails, then you can make a motion to go ahead and vote.
Well, you don't have to-
second.
No, it's already still open.
You don't have to make a second vote. It will already be. It's just that as compensation as amended fails, then you go back to the original,
Revert back
which is
to
the
the
second
original, which
reading
we
of
already
the
have a
original.
motion and a
Yeah.
second.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
I'll say in my years, that's the first time I think we've ever had an amendment with second reading on an ordinance.
Yeah.
But we'll get it done.
All right, any other questions? All right. We'll move to new business, unnumbered resolution, short-term rental certificate application for the property located at 188 John Arnold Avenue.
Yes, Mayor and Council, so this is a short-term vacation rental, it's an appeal process. We did send out advertisement within 300-foot radius of this for 30 days. We did get one objection on it, so they're coming for appeal. We already have one approved short-term vacation rental in the Graston development, so this would be just an appeal, like I said, on for City Council review.
Thank you, sir. Council, any questions?
Didn't we hear,
Not for short-term vacation rental at all on East Street.
didn't we hear a while back, vote on something to state that only R2 to, be available for short term?
Councilman Cagle, not that I'm aware of. This, for the short-term vacation rental ordinance, this is a zoning district classified as R3, which is a permissible for short-term vacation rentals.
Any other questions? All right, we'll move to the next item, unnumbered resolution, conditional use permit for variance of the city sign ordinance for an existing off-premise sign at the corner of Ringo Road and Mac Smith Road.
Yes, Mayor and Council. Actually, this came before this body in 2022, June of 2022, I think it was. City Council did approve this use on review for an off-premise sign. So Kenny Custer with Star Community Builders is seeking City Council approve the existing off-premise sign just for the support base, identical to what he originally requested. I think it was 28 foot in height. 21 feet in height, I'm sorry, by 8 feet, 7 inches in display size. This would be an LED message center for the Gateway development.
Any questions, council?
What we approved back then is already void and gone because it's past a year?
That is correct, yes.
Okay, so he's let his, he's drug this on, so now he's having to come back to reapply. Okay, I have a problem with this sign interfering, this sign here, it's gonna be LED, multicolored, interfering with the traffic light down there by where it's sitting. It's gonna be sitting pretty close to the corner there. So, the illuminations and everything.
Any other questions?
No.
So this is, this is exactly where the current East Ridge resident sign is setting,
That's correct, Mayor.
the one that's in current violation?
That is correct. It is in AHO right now.
So they say, okay. So this was requested, this was approved in June of 2022,
Yes,
going on 3 years, and it hasn't been put up yet.
that is correct.
And they're coming back and asking again.
Yes, sir.
Okay, just want to make sure. Any other questions? All right, we'll move to item C, resolution, another unnumbered resolution. Chattanooga Autism Center request to use East Ridge Community Center and waive fees for use. Skiles.
Yes, Mayor and Council. The Chattanooga Autism Center has requested use for the community center on June 20th. Now, again, this is if we get the center open on time, which we should. They're going to do a Fun in the Sun Jeep fundraiser. It is a free community event open to the public, and the purpose of this event is to provide fun, safe environment where autistic children and adults can be themselves, while also offering opportunities for the community to learn about autism, inclusion, acceptance, and services provided by the Chattanooga Autism Center. In your package, you will see that they did fill out all of the paperwork, again, required by the facility fee waiver policy that we did a few years back. So they meet all of the qualifications in order to request usage of one of our facilities for free.
Thank you, ma'am. Council, any questions? See none. Next item is unnumbered resolution, Optimist Club request to use Dickert Pond for holding fishing rodeo and waive the fees for such use.
Yes, Mayor and Council. The East Ridge Optimist Club, which is a 501c4 organization, has requested use of Dickert Pond for, again, the Camp Jordan, where they're going to do their annual fishing rodeo for kids, which is the day that, TWA has their open fishing for everybody, so it's free. The Optimist Club always aligns this event with that day. They offer, I think we have the fire department out there helping put worms on kids. We have, I think y'all do free fishing rods, Bass Pro's involved.
Free fishing rods, free bait. We have door prizes for all the kids that participate. We have trophies for varying age groups. We'll have free food for the participants that'll be there. It's a great time.
So, with council's approval, staff recommends at the next council and this council to waive that fee. And again, in your package, you'll see that the Optimist Club has filled out all the required paperwork that we require to use one of our facilities.
Thank you, ma'am. Council, any questions?
Just one.
Mm-hmm.
What is the fee for Dickert Pond? I didn't know we had one, that's why I'm asking.
It's a great question.
It's not that we have a fee, it's they need our sound system, they need our tables, they need our chairs. We charge fees for those.
So there's no fee for the pond.
Correct. But if you're having an organized event, no matter where it is in Camp Jordan, you have to have insurance. So you can do a free event all day like they're doing, but we still require a COI, a certificate of insurance, because you're welcoming the public into city space. Someone gets hurt, there's responsibility, there's liability. So everything is structured, whether it's free or not. Again, the fee comes in with my guys' time, our sound equipment, tables and chairs that we normally don't take out of the building.
So do we have a set fee, I guess is what I'm asking?
No, not for the pond. You just got to go through us and make sure you have all the requirements.
Okay.
Any other questions? All right, we'll move to the next item, unnumbered resolution, approval of sponsorship agreement with Academy Sports.
Yes, Mayor and Council. So this is our annual sponsorship contract that we do with Academy Sports and Outdoors. I actually just got this approved by Mark on Monday. It got sent to Jennifer yesterday. So it will be in your packets to review on the next council meeting. I apologize. Academy needed to get some verbiage back for us. They again will sponsor the park, $2,600, and then they're giving us, in lieu of like starter packs they used to do with like baseballs and softballs, they give us $1,000 gift card. We go over to Academy on their shop day. We get 20% off, and we buy the different things that we need for our coaches, that we try to supply our coaches to help them with the cost since they're coaching for us for the rec.
Thank you, ma'am. Council, any questions? I see none. I am going to slide one in front of item F. I think we also have now added the repeal of Resolution 2340.
Oh, okay.
Any discussion there? Okay. Now we'll move to discussion and selection of top city manager candidate. Mr. Miller.
Thank you. Okay, we have a schedule set up for Wednesday, March 4th and Thursday, March 5th. On Wednesday, March 4th, we'll be starting, I should probably have the HR director come up. You know it better. You put it together.
I actually didn't bring a copy of it with me, but I know it pretty well off the top of my head. So we'll do, So last time there was a lot of discussion about getting as much time for your one-on-ones as possible. We've got 5 candidates and being reasonable about their need for break time and also travel in on that morning for at least one candidate. We will start at 9:30 a.m. and go until about 6 p.m. with a 1-hour lunch break in there and giving you each an hour-and-a-half session with each candidate. And we found a way to do that here in City Hall. So you guys won't have to move near as much, and we can move the candidates around to different locations throughout City Hall where you'll have privacy. And then on Thursday, we're looking at a 2-hour meet and greet with the department heads, and that will happen over at Venue 1921. And then we're gonna give the candidates a small break there for lunch and offer them city tours at that time. With a start back here for the specially called meeting of the council at 3 p.m. that will include an invitation for the public to also hear that interview session take place. We can allow for 45 minutes to an hour for each candidate, but then that does push us till at least 8, 9 p.m., allowing for some transition time between each candidate.
Question? Go ahead.
That's the schedule. Any questions on that?
What time is the 5th start?
The 5th candidate
Yeah.
on
No,
Wednesday.
on March 5th, when they're meeting the department heads and all, what time does that actually start that morning?
Oh, 9 to 11 a.m. Sorry,
Okay.
yeah, 9.
We have 5 candidates. We've had 4 Zooms yesterday, Zoom interviews with a team of myself, HR Director Michelle Sigaglio, and Hannah Rogers from MTAS. We have 2 today, and we'll have 1 tomorrow morning. And I know that when you're done with 5 hours or so of interviewing in a public forum, which would be in this room here, that you probably want to take some time to think about it, to digest the information that you had on your one-on-one, as well as their presentation at a public forum. Even though I am retired tomorrow at 4:30, I will be attending the interviews. I'd like to see how they participate and how they respond to elected body in the questions that you pose to them. So at that time, the council doesn't need to make a decision, but I'm putting on for the tentative agenda for March 12th, your selection of a top city manager candidate. That way, it will give some time for the top candidate and the city attorney to develop and hash out a contract agreement between the top candidate and the city of East Ridge. And that would come before the city council for your approval, formal approval, at the March 26th council meeting. Does that sound acceptable to you?
Yes.
Do we have, or the candidates, they all have a job now?
I'm sorry?
Do the candidates have a job now to where it might be a 30 or 60-day notice they have to give?
I would say that several do, which would be at the most a 30-day. We have several that are not employed at this present time. But we took that into account that if we did have an appointment made at the March, we would have somebody at least starting at the end of April, beginning of May. That's where my target is, to be able to come in and start working with making those critical decisions on the budget process. It's not to say the budget process is going to move forward. It's going to move forward as we've done so for the past 3 years, but somebody has got to make that decision to bring it into balance. Are we? Okay. Well, you popped up so fast, I was wondering if there was something. Okay, just to kind of give you and the public an idea, we posted this position from January 23rd to February 20th in the International City Management Association International newsletter, the International City Management Tennessee chapter, the International City Management Association Georgia chapter, MTAS, Tennessee Municipal League, city website, Facebook, social media action. We did 3 video campaign recruitment videos. We sent you copies of those. Those went out 3 weeks in a row. Instagram, and we also turned around and hired Colin Basinger and Associates, a headhunting out of the Fort Lauderdale area. At least they used to be out of there. There had a recruitment flyer posted on their website. The email blasted 14,000 city managers about this job throughout the United States. Posted on Associates Lincoln profiles and did some direct research to unknown city managers across the region. Two of the candidates, Colin Basinger and Associates, know their background. So the other 3 will probably have them commence a more in-depth background. We had 5 candidates. First round, we had 29 applicants, 21 had no city manager experience. Second round, 28 candidates, 19 with no city manager experience. The ones that had city manager experience at 11, 2 are from Tennessee and 2 have Tennessee experience. We will have the packets of all their resumes to you tomorrow by noon. If you have any questions, feel free to call Michelle. You can call me at my home number. You all have that number.
You're here till 4:30.
When has Scott ever got off at 4:30?
Hey, I'll still be a resident of the city of Eastridge, and I do want to make sure that we have a qualified and good city manager coming into this position to continue the work of this city council and move it forward. So we all have a vested interest in this. Any questions?
Are these packets going to be hard copies in our box, or are they going to be electronic?
I was preparing both.
Okay.
Whatever's easiest for each person.
Electronic would be great
Put
for me.
mine in the box.
Love hard copies.
Okay.
Hard copy would be nice. I'll be out of town, so I'd like to get my email, please.
Yeah.
Email for you.
I agree.
And thank you again, Mr. Miller, and your team for the work you put in on this. I know it's an exhaustive process.
Well, we have some good candidates. There's several have risen to the top. It'll be interesting to see how they perform in a public forum with the elected body. Because I think we're at this point, my job is done. It's going to be up to you which one of these candidates you feel you bond with, because you've got to work with them. Which one do you feel you've got a strong relationship as the city manager, because you'd be working with him, not working with me anymore. Okay.
Awesome. Any other questions? Any other items? That was the last item on the tentative agenda. Any other business? See here.